I've seen a lot of YouTubers do this tier list thing, and I really want to do one. All the books that my book club has read since it started are all loaded up on here. For the tiers, the top is the best and the bottom's the worst, obviously. But I named them things that are like inside jokes. Hands is a character from Journey to the Center of the Earth that everyone talked about a lot. Jack's book game, that's the game that we play at the end when we're done discussing the book. But it's not that creepy is a phrase that was said a lot during the talk with Coraline. I just kind of put it there because I didn't know what else to put in like the average space. Coronavirus that's not an inside joke. I think we know what coronavirus is. And then bowels, because one book we read kept saying bowels of the earth and one of the members of the book club ranted about that. So that's the tiers. Now we have all the books. The first one is The Maze Runner. And I'm gonna say that's coronavirus because I thought that was a good book, but it just really isn't my taste in books. And I don't think it gave us a lot of discussion things to talk about. And it's just not my taste. I don't like modern dystopian. It's just very stressful. It wasn't the worst. It entertained me. Keeper of the Lost Cities. I'm gonna put that one in, but it's not that creepy. It was a good book. It was really fun. I really enjoyed reading it. It was really fast. It was really good. But I personally didn't think it was very memorable, and it didn't really give us a lot to talk about. It wasn't a good, 3 hours of discussion book. The Princess Bride, I personally didn't really love that. It was different. I appreciated how different it was in the way it was written, but I thought it was very average. And I think I could have gone without reading it, so I'm gonna put it in coronavirus. The City of Ember. Here's a really unpopular opinion. I really prefer the movie to the book. I just don't really like the book's writing style. Think I'm gonna put it in, but it's not that creepy because even though I didn't personally enjoy reading it, I think it has a really good concept. The Hobbit, I will say that I had to reread it for this time, and I liked it better on reread than I liked it when I first read it, but it's still just not my thing. I think I'm gonna put that one in, but it's not that creepy either. Maybe no, I'm gonna put that one in, it's not that creepy. The Fellowship of the Ring, honestly, I'm just gonna put that one in bowels. I really don't like that. I had to read Lord of the Rings for school one time, so that probably ruined it for me, but it's just the high fantasy thing isn't my thing. I prefer low fantasy a lot. I've tried 50 million times to read The Fellowship of the Rings and I never really make it to the end. And I don't really care. Yeah, I just don't care. The Magician's Nephew was really, really good. I really liked it. I think I'm going to put that one in hands because I think that it was really good, and if I'm remembering correctly, I think it gave us a lot to talk about as well. The Tale of Despero, I don't know. I didn't reread it for book club. I read it a long time ago, and I didn't care to reread it, so I just went on memory. The fact that I didn't care to reread it, I'm either going to put it in coronavirus or bowels. I'll put it in coronavirus right now. A Wrinkle in Time. I really like A Wrinkle in Time, and I used to really, really like it. It used to be one of my favorite books, but now looking back on it, it does have a few flaws. I think it could have been a little bit more interesting. I'm just not as in love with it as I used to be. I can't remember how the discussion of that went. I'm gonna put it in Jack's book game because I still really like it, but it's just missing something. I don't know what that something is, but it's missing something. Redwall. Redwall is a good book. I'm going to put that in Jack's book game. I think that's a really good book, but again, I just don't particularly like the writing style. It's pretty dense. It also wasn't a very good discussion because no one read it because it was very dense. Personally, I feel like we should maybe put a size limit on book club books because Keeper of the Lost Cities was also really super long and no one read that one either, even though that one was a really fast-paced book. The discussion doesn't usually go well when it's a really long book. Of course, if it was a really short book, then we wouldn't have much to talk about. So we need a happy balance. Coraline, I'm gonna put that one on hands because Coraline is one of my favorite books. I don't have anything wrong with it other than the fact that I think the way characters felt could have been shown a little bit better, but other than that, it's like one of my favorite books, and I think the discussion of it went really well too, so it's going in hands. Harry Potter. The problem with Harry Potter is that that discussion was kind of all over the place. Like, most of the people had already read the whole series while other people hadn't, so people were talking about all the other books and at the same time trying not to spoil the other books but still talking about the other books, and I honestly don't even remember much from the conversation because I've only read like the first two, but the conversation tended toward later in the series, so so my personal experience with reading that for book club wasn't great. I'm gonna put it in Jack's book game because I think it's a good book, but it's a really good book. But I'm rating this by like but if I'm rating it, I'm gonna put it in Jack's book game because I think it's really good, but it's not like a favorite the way that the ones I have in hands are. I don't know, I'm gonna put it there because it's just my instinct to put it there, so we're putting it there. Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. This was another time where I think we picked too popular a book because, like the Harry Potter one, too many people showed up, too many people had read the whole rest of the series. I just don't think that one went well. And there also wasn't anything to talk about that hasn't already been talked to death about. I'm gonna put it in, but it's not that creepy because I don't think maybe I want to put in Coronavirus. I don't know, it's been a long time since I read The Lightning Thief. I kind of want to put it in Coronavirus because I remember enjoying it, but at the same time I'm not sure if I would enjoy it as much if I read it now. I'm gonna put in Coronavirus. Fahrenheit 451 was really good. I really liked that book. It had a very satisfying ending, which I wasn't expecting from a dystopian. I'm gonna put that one in hands because I think that one went really well. Wonder, I like Wonder, but it's not the best. I think Wonder for me is a definition of, but it's not that creepy. I think I gave it a high star rating, but it's kind of averagey, I think. Maybe it's been a long time since I read it. I won't put in that, but it's not that creepy because that's where I instinctually want to put it. Frankenstein. I really liked Frankenstein. If you've watched older videos, then you've probably heard me talk about actually all of these books before, but fairly recently I was raving about Frankenstein a lot. Having stepped back from the excitement after finishing it a little bit, I do think there were definitely parts in there that were boring, but it just didn't bother me as much because I really liked the writing style. That was definitely my favorite part of it. I liked the writing style. I really want to read more by Mary Shelley because her writing is just... yes. And I think we had a good discussion about it too, so I'm gonna put that in Jack's book game. Journey to the Center of the Earth. I didn't finish that one. I thought it was super boring, and most of the people at book club agreed. There was actually just one person, it was actually Jack, that actually liked it. He was pretty much the only one that liked it, even remotely. I felt bad for him. The whole discussion was everyone talking about how much they hated the book, and also about how much they liked Hans, because that's where Hans is from. Hans, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Yeah, that's definitely Bowels. It's definitely, that's also where Bowels of the Earth was from that book. We got a lot of inside jokes from it, but still it's at the bottom. It was boring. Howl's Moving Castle. I really, really loved this one. It was an easy 5 stars. I really loved it. I'm gonna put it... you know what? No, I'm gonna put that one in hands. It was really good, and I think we had a good discussion of it. I think most people thought it was more average-y because most people gave it a 7 out of 10, and I feel like people are usually fairly generous with their ratings. I think I usually end up giving something a 7 out of 10 when I think it's average, when it probably really deserves a 5, because 5 just seems low. But anyway, I'm gonna put it there. This is very, even. I don't like it. We're gonna have to mess it up some. Or maybe I do like it. I'm not sure if I like it or not. The problem with this video so far is I'm having a hard time deciding whether to lean more on my personal opinion of the book or how good book club went. And in both cases I have situations where I've forgotten. And now we've moved on to the last one, which is 1984, which is the one we're reading right now. I haven't finished it yet. I'm halfway through it. It's really good so far. It's very much like Fahrenheit 451 in the feel of it. I'm gonna put it in Jack's book game because I haven't finished it yet, so I'm not sure. And it's still not something that I would like love to pick up, but it's good and it's entertaining me, and I think it's gonna give us, you know what, I'm actually gonna put it in hand. We haven't had book club of it obviously yet, but I think we're going to have a really good discussion for it because I think there's a lot to talk about and it's not so long a book. Like, I think this is a really good book club book so far. Like, out of all of these, the ones that I would recommend to pick up for like a book club would be 1984, although I haven't finished it yet, so I'm not 100% sure, because it's not too long like the other one. At least I don't think so. Maybe people aren't reading it, but hopefully not, because everyone seemed excited to read it, which it was surprising. Okay, now that we have everything set up like this, I think we should make maneuvers. I'm going to pull Red Wall down one because it's still a really good book, but the discussion of it just went really, really bad. It was such a dense book that no one read it, and it was like a busy month for everyone. So I'm gonna bring that one down one. I feel like there's too many in the top, so I'm gonna bring down The Magician's Nephew because that's my least favorite up there, I think. I think I should bring down one more and get the top to like the top 3. So I want to bring down Howl's Moving Castle, but I also don't. And I want to bring down Coraline, but I also don't. I'm gonna bring down Howl's Moving Castle. You know what, I'm also gonna put Harry Potter down 1. You know what, I'm gonna put it down 2. Because I think that it's being the super popular book that it is, like, it's too popular for us to have really had a good discussion about it. Wonder I'm considering putting up, but not really, because that discussion went really well, but it mainly went well because we had all those quotes at the beginning of the chapters, and so I printed out a bunch of the quotes, but in their full form, so that we could study them and apply them to, like, the characters' lives, and it was a good discussion, but, like, if we didn't have those quotes, I don't think it would have been as good a discussion, so I think I'm going to leave it where it is. I'm surprised that Fahrenheit and 1984 are both on the top right now. Okay, I think I'm happy with this. Just one more screenshot. I don't know how to record my screen, so what you're seeing behind me is just like a series of screenshots I've been taking because I don't know how to record my screen. Thank you for washing your hands because coronavirus is going to kill us all. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to put it high on your tier list. Put the video into hands and use the hands to do the thumbs up. Tell me what book you would pick to read for a book club, or what book you are reading for book club if you are in a book club, because book clubs are fun. Yes. Bye. There's a table. I'm not crawling over the table. Never mind.